Hi folks, well this is a quick little video from me. It's Friday the 8th of October. I want to show you around my little XKR. This is for Mike, I think you're in England Mike, and Peter over in Dundee. He wanted me to quickly show you this car that I'm selling and what condition it's in, and I guess you just want to see it before you take it any further. But yeah, this is where it lives. It's not really being used. Actually, it's not being used. It hasn't been used for a while. Just because we have that. So we've been running 2 XKs, and not that it's a bit much or anything to deal with, but that one there is. We just had to make the decision which one do we keep, and it's because we have a couple of cars here. The Cabriolet won out, that's all. This one here I've had for a couple of years. Great little car. It hasn't been a bother. We've done all the maintenance on it that it's needed. Just the usual stuff, except maybe the supercharger. Supercharger was making a bit of a noise at idle. And I know it's a bearing sort of thing at the pulley, but I went and replaced the whole, hang on a sec, I went and replaced the whole supercharger just because I thought if I was in there, might as well do the whole thing. That's just a little battery maintainer I've unplugged there, so I have that plugged in just to keep things good. With these cars, if you don't keep the battery in good condition, causes all manner of problems. But here, might as well show you inside the boot while we're here. There's a full-size wheel, alloy wheel. There's a locking wheel nut, and you know, all sorts of stuff. What else? It's just a boot. The back seats don't go down. The battery's behind that panel there, and in here is DVD for the what's this for? It's for the sat nav. So this is up to date. I think 2019 was the latest one we got. I think there's a 2021 or 2020 version out just now, but you know, here it's fine because we went from 09 to 2019 on this, and that's as good an update as we needed. Let me just get this cover off, and I'll show you inside. Okay, here, sorry for the unplugged nature of this video. Should have thought it through really, right? Okay. Yeah, there it is. Let me think. Wheels and brakes, good condition. Right, the tires are pretty new. We put them on in March. We've only done a couple of 100 miles since then. They're good tires. They're, what are they? Michelin PS4S. So you can see they're, you know, they're new pretty much. The only damage maybe on the car, honestly, is just this little tiny little thing here, which there you can just about see it. Little scratchy thing there. That's the only damage on the car. The paint works fantastic, as you can see. Never been in an accident. Everything works. So these mirrors, well, you didn't get to see it, but they're folding mirrors. They fold themselves in. Let's see, I don't want to damage that. And hopefully that lets you see inside. So it's got 16-way memory seats. Do you see that? That's an upgrade. If you look at the steering wheel, right hand side, it's got that, which many XKs do not have. It's the active cruise control, so it's got a radar function, and you can switch this thing on and off down here as well, which is linked into the same system. That's like a forward warning alert, so if you're not paying attention and the car thinks you're not paying attention and you get too close to the car in front at lights or whatever, it'll beep and pretty much annoy you into paying attention. The back seats are there, hopefully you can see that. That's not a speaker, by the way, that is an air intake for the seats, because the seats are heated and they're cooled. So I always thought that was part of the sound system on the car, but no, it's an air intake. Let's see what we've got. So a couple of books with the car. So a DVD for the sat nav, full set of manuals, and then there's receipts for various things and old MOTs and stuff like that. So it's got a full service history. It's due in December. It seems to be yearly. The dashboard lets you know when it wants to be serviced, but it seems to be annual. So I think the next one is December. So I plan to get that done sooner than later, to be honest. But yeah, that's the interior. It's got black Alcantara as well, which is an option and an upgrade. This trim apparently is an upgrade too, and then that weave pattern apparently is an upgrade. I don't really know too much about it. I just go by what the specs sheet says about what's an option and what's not. And I have a wired in for dash cam, as you can see there. That's nicely hidden away. But here, let's see if about starting the car for you. Okay. Close the door, stop the binging. That orange light there on the left is for the radar, right? So if I switch it on and off, you'll see it goes. It's weird that they have it coloured orange, because orange to me says warning, but here that's what it is. It's supposed to be that colour. It's not an error. It works perfectly, and you know, I just wish it was green. But here, that's a design thing, right? What else in here? Yeah, it's got, if you've got electric doors in your garage, you can program these 3 buttons here for that. Up there, you can disable the beeping for the parking system, and then there's just map lights and stuff there. You see that? The mirror, I don't know if you can see, the mirrors are self-dimming, so they kind of get a dark film on them whenever that little sensor there thinks there's a car behind you. What else to show? Yeah, everything works, I guess. That's what I want to show you. There's sat nav. Yeah, it's heated front and rear windows. Yeah, that's it, I guess. It's got one of those weird electronic handbrakes, but they all do, don't they? And this rising coke can thing. Previous XKR that we had the J-gate thing, which was, I think it was nicer, to be honest. It makes you feel like you're doing something when you're driving the car and you've got something to hold and you can put it down into the gears. But this is fine. It's pretty dumb-proof, and you know, it's pretty much a switch basically. But the steering wheel has these plus and minus buttons there. Do you see? And so you can. I'm going to put it into drive now and foot on the brake, right? And just show you it changing gear, hopefully. Or maybe not. Maybe it doesn't want to do that because the car's parked. Yeah, here, I'm not going to move the car now because I have it parked so close to the wall. I need help getting the car out, so just put that back in park. Let me see, what else might you want to look at? The headlamps are active headlamps, So they have a little motor in them that turns the lens, just like the old Citroen DS used to have. Do you remember that? So one set of beams goes straight ahead, and then one set of beams goes left or right, depending on which direction you're going. I'm just going to open the bonnet. Actually, let me switch the engine off because I'll top up on the oil. Because one question I would have if I was buying a car is it burning oil, or is there mayonnaise under the cap and all that sort of stuff, you know? But here, I'll show you that it's perfect. Right, so up it goes. Oops, shit. I hope I didn't scratch that. I don't think I did. So here, yeah, there's the reservoir for the coolant. I can open it because it hasn't gotten warm yet, but you can see all nice and fresh. Active suspension, that's what the wire is out of the shocks. So when you go into sports mode, it does things to the car. It tightens up the suspension, it tightens up the throttle response, and it opens up flaps on the exhaust, makes it a bit more noisy. Oh, the oil's away over there. Those little airbag things. There's no, like, one of the previous XKs that we had errors around the pedestrian airbag system. It seems to be a frequent failure, but it's a cheap and easy fix, because behind that bumper bar there's two sensors. So the sensors, like, they're easily replaced, and they're £90 each. And you know, when people say this stuff goes wrong, it does go wrong, you know, upon age, but it's easily fixed and not something to be worried about. It's not a failure of the car or the technology. Okay, just squeezing in here so that I can hopefully show you. This is where the oil cap is. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. And there you can see no mayonnaise. And you see that little tube? So a little secret is you don't need to put the car up in the air to change the oil. You can actually suck the oil out through that tube, and that's the way they do it at JLR. That tube goes all the way down to the sump, and you can take all the oil out without getting messy. But it's just one way of doing it. It's a bit of a boring engine, isn't it? Like, they've covered that thing with a plastic trim. Underneath there's the supercharger, so can't really show you that, but that's something I replaced pretty much after we got the car, because there was a little rattly noise off the front of the supercharger, which actually I'll show you because I have it over here. Pardon the messy garage, and you can kind of see my project, right? This is this is why I need to make a bit of space. So here's the old supercharger. So I plan to replenish this with new bushes and stuff like that, but it's one of those on the long finger sort of jobs. So that's the old supercharger. It's fine. Like, I probably went overboard in replacing the whole thing, but it was just so easy to do. But here, the problem is, behind this, there's a coupling. There's two rotors and one shaft. So it has to go from one into two. So behind that, the rotor has this coupling, and it's the coupling that goes bad. So there's an upgrade which I put onto the new one, which is made of silicon, and it makes a bit more noise, a bit more of a whine compared to the old spring version, but it'll last forever compared to the spring version, because the spring breaks down, and that's basically what makes the rattle. But you can see I replaced that already. That's why that's tight. So I think once I replace the bushes on that, just, you know, that'll be a nice spare. But yeah, I don't know what else to show you about our XKR. It is what it is. It's a good car. that's what I need to make room for. That has a failed engine. That was my lockdown project, so unfortunately it was bought based on the honest opinion of somebody that wasn't very honest, because the engine was blown basically, so I have to deal with that, and that's why I need room in here. But this car, like, we've loved this car, but we take it to classic car shows. It's very, very powerful, makes lovely noises, and yeah, I think we'll miss it just because of how it goes and how it eats up the miles. But you know, as a second car, that's what we use. So that's all. We love XKs. You won't have any bother with this one. Over here in Northern Ireland, we can't get MOTs done in a normal garage. It has to be done in a government kind of place, and there's a big backlog of that. So I was trying to get an MOT done sooner than December, but they won't do it. They won't let me do it. So December is when it gets its MOT. But like, there shouldn't be any problems with it. It's drives like a new car. I hope you get to give it a go in the flesh. But I guess if you're looking at this from far away, one option you could do, if you want, is get the AA to do an inspection on it. I think it costs £100 or something like that. But like I'd let them stick it up on that ramp there if they wanted. So if you want to do that, I'll help you set that up. But yeah, so there you go. That's my little XKR, and I hope this video works for you. Cheers.